Hey, Boris Musheyev here. Welcome. And in this video, I'm going to show you how you can make an S Corporation election by filling out Form 2553. I'm actually going to take you step by step. I will be sharing my screen in a moment, and I will take you step by step on the form and show you exactly what you need to fill out, what to put on those boxes, and so forth. Before we do that, I just want to take a moment. If you don't know me, introduce myself. My name is Boris Musheyev. I'm a CPA and a certified tax strategist. Every Tuesday, I release a tax strategy videos for business owners just like yourself to help them save money on taxes. So please go ahead and subscribe to my channel. If you like this video, I would appreciate any comments and any likes. I've also put together a lot of resources for you in the description section below. So go ahead and check it out after you are done with this video. Now, let's go to my screen. Hey, Boris Musheyev here. Okay, in this video, I will show you how to make an S Corporation election. Now, before we get started, just a quick caveat. I normally recommend that you have a tax advisor do this for you. Okay, I normally recommend that you have your tax advisor do it for you, even if they charge you money to do this. Okay, in most cases, this has to be done carefully and most importantly, followed up with IRS to make sure it was done. But I will show you in this video how to do this properly. And if you feel like you can do this, please, by all means, but always have maybe somebody take a look at it, or come on Q&As, right? Come on Q&As, be like, hey, Boris, can you review this very quickly and see if I got it right? Absolutely would love to do that for you. But let's kind of jump into it. So all I had to do, I Googled Form 2553. You might say, well, Boris, you're a professional. Why don't you just keep one on file? Well, because sometimes IRS likes to change their forms or the number where you have to fax it to, and that's really, really important. So on Google, you will always find the latest version. So I just put in Form 2553 because remember from the other trainings, when you incorporate your business or you form an LLC, you're not an S corporation by default. You have to make an S corporation election. You have to make an S corporation election, and it is not an S corp by default. Okay, so I Googled this form. Now, this form is about 6 pages long or 5 pages long. I recommend downloading this form on your computer and then start filling it out, because if you're gonna fill it out here on Chrome and then save it, I don't think it will save all your data entry. It will probably print it, but it won't save it. So I don't recommend doing that. Download it to your computer as a PDF. All right. So to do an S corporation election, you really need these first 2 pages. Page number 1, page number 2. There are some extra pages that come with the form which you do not need. You can disregard them. So when you print, you can really print these 2, sign it, and send it to the IRS. So let's kind of get into it, right? So you always want to start with a name. This would be the name of the business, okay? Exactly as it appears on your SS4 form. SS4 form is the the EIN letter. I think it was SS4, right? I think I got it right. EIN letter that IRS gave you that says, hey, this is your EIN number. Exactly the name as it appears there. Put in your employer identification number, your EIN number. I'm going to show you how to do this form exactly how we do it for our clients, okay? Put in the address of the business. Most importantly, the mailing address, okay? You don't want to put an address of the business. For example, sometimes it happens that you have renovations going on in the business. You just got the business. So you want to put in an address where you will actually receive your election, because IRS has to send you the confirmation that you made an S corporation election. So put in the address here, put in the date incorporated. This is the date when you formed the corporation. Now, this could have been 3 years ago, 5 years ago, this could be 2 months ago. Whatever the date is, I strongly recommend looking at your articles of incorporation or articles of an organization for an LLC, and you can put that date here. State of incorporation, put that state in here as well. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, and the way we do it in our firm and our tax software also requires to put the initials of the state. So New York would be NY. Okay. Check the applicable boxes if the corporation is shown above. None of that unless it's changed, right? If you are changing anything about your name or address, you might want to check this box off. But I don't think we ever check this off in my firm. Election is to be effective for the tax beginning year. Now, this is really, really important, and I'm going to spend a few minutes on this section right here. Let's assume you created your corporation. What right now we're in the year 2022. Let's say you started your LLC January 1, 2022. Okay. Now you have 75 days from the date of the filing of an S corp of a corporation, meaning to say from the date that you want to be an S corporation from that year. Let's say you want to be an S corporation starting 2022. You have 75 days from the beginning of the year, so to speak, right, to file, or from the date of incorporation. Assuming you incorporate in 1/1/22, you have 75 days to apply for your S corporation status. Okay, so it says over here, when are you electing to be an effective tax year beginning, right? When are we beginning? We're beginning on March 1st, 2000, excuse me, on January 1st, 2022. This is the year that I want to start being an S corporation. Now, in the next video, below this video, in this module, I will talk about when you are outside of the 75 days, and I will show you an example to do that. But before you do that one, you need to finish the entire training over here, then jump into that one, because on that one I will show you how to file a late election. Okay, because IRS does allow you to file a late election if you're late. Let's say, for example, right now is the month of July, and you're like, oh man, I missed the election, but I want to be in an S corporation starting January 1st, 2022. That's okay, don't worry. You do have until March 15th, but if you miss that deadline, you can still file a late election, and I will share that with you in the next video. But in this video, we're going to talk about your current election, your current year. Even if you had an LLC or your corporation open for a few years now, right? Let's say you started the business 5 years ago, you opened an entity, but you never really started the business, right? And now you're really starting the business and you want to become an S Corp, that's okay. You put in the year that you want to be an S Corporation from. Some people want to start from next year, right? So you would put in 1/1/2023. So in this case, we put 1/1/2022 because we're starting this year, regardless of when the corporation was formed, whether it was only a month ago or 5 years ago or 3 years ago. Okay. The next one, we choose F, calendar year. Always choose a calendar year. I haven't been doing this for any clients at fiscal year or any other stuff. Like I said in the beginning of this video, I strongly advise having your tax advisor review it, or have somebody or have a tax advisor do it for you. We're just kind of covering high overview, general, and for all of our clients. Really, I'm just showing you the way we do it for our clients. Now it says, hey, if you have more than 100 shareholders, list them, check off. So most likely it's either you, your spouse, or a couple of partners. I wouldn't worry about that. But if you really have a lot of shareholders, ding, ding, speak to your tax advisor. Name and title. So over here, we usually put, let's say, Boris Musheyev, and this would be president, right? So because you are a president or owner, whatever you want to put here. Telephone number, strongly recommend putting your telephone number. Over here, if you are filing late, right? If you're filing an S corporation late, this is where you would fill in information and asking IRS to grant you a relief, right? I will talk about it in the next video. I don't want to spend time on this over here. We're assuming you're filing on time, but if you are filing late, finish watching this and we're going to jump to another video kind of walking through this. The next thing, you want to make sure you sign it, put your title and date it. Second page is extremely important, okay? First of all, put in your name or name of the business and put in the identification number, right? IRS needs that to be put over here. Name and address of each shareholder. So if it's you, your spouse, name, address of each shareholder, that require, because it is required that you get consent of all the shareholders. Everybody has to sign the signature date and number of shares or percentage of ownership. So we usually put percentage of ownership. So if it's me, it'll be 100%. If it's me and my wife, 50-50. It's me and my partners, depending what that is, you put that in. Dates acquired is usually the date which you're electing to be an S corporation. So if you're electing to be an S corporation 1/1/2022, then that's the dates acquired. It would put here. This is exactly as we're doing it for all of our clients in our firm, and we always get 100% success rate over here filing this S corporation the way I'm showing it to you right now. Social security number of each shareholder, and over here, shareholders' tax year ends. Most likely, your tax year end is December 31st, right? So you would pretty much put that. That's it. That's all they want from you, okay? Or you can just really type it out if you want, but 1231 is fine. If it's anything other than 1231, ding, ding, tax advisor, okay? You don't need these last two pages, okay, to file an SCorp election, or then come back to this first page and first of all, print it, sign it. IRS doesn't want electronic signatures. You want to make sure you put wet signature, print it, sign it, scan it back in. Depending on what state in the country you're located in, there's two different fax numbers to send it to. Now, IRS usually, before COVID, had about 60-day turnaround time and send you a letter to the address that you list over here, okay, saying, hey, we approve you for an S corporation. If you don't receive a letter after COVID, it's a little bit longer, but I think they're catching up. It's really hard to say, to be honest with you. But you want to make sure you call the IRS after 60 days if you didn't receive the letter. Like, hey, am I an S corporation? Right? And there's another thing that I wanted to add. Oh, when you do receive a letter, read the letter and see if on the letter they tell you, hey, we have approved you to be an S corporation as of 1/1/2022 or whatever year you choose. Sometimes there's probably an agent that is angry at life, sitting at the desk, receiving these forms, and by accident, sheer accident, right, puts in a wrong date year, a year, right, on which, and then it's such a headache to get it fixed. So you always want to make sure you pay attention to that, because when it comes to filing your taxes, most likely that your tax advisor, when they will be filing your tax return, if the IRS still hasn't approved you, your return might get rejected. You would have to send out by paper. There's so many things in their database that they're trying to match you with the way your EIN is set up. So you want to make sure you send this out as soon as possible. I hope this was clear. If you have any questions, bring it on Q&A. And other than that, thanks.